welcome everybody to another episode of the Lorepod podcast. I'm your host, Dakota Morgan, coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona. And today we have a character bio, ? This is one, folks, where it's not a video game, but it's more of a in-person game, to say the thing that we're going to be talking about, nor a movie or TV show. We're going to be diving into the world of DnD, aka Dungeons and Dragons today, everybody. Because this is the Lorepod, and we cover all sorts of things here. And today we're going to be covering, you saw the title, so that's why you clicked, the Demogorgon. All the D&D lore, the small amount that there is, that you need to know about the Demogorgon. And what exactly does it look like? Now, he did first appear in the early White books in 1974, and also, of course, it did appear in the first Monster Manual. Now, Stranger Things, of course, has been doing a Demogorgon with a flower head and such like that. They more or less just took the name. But what does an actual D&D Demogorgon look like? I'm glad you asked. Well, he's a pretty massive beast, to say the least. He is also a demon, and his nickname is the Prince of Demons. He has two heads, both of which look like baboon heads. One head's name is Emmanuel, and the other is Herodithia. And they're always at odds. And they have glowing red eyes and a glowing mouth, just like similar to like lava or just glowing red with fire. Its body is made of scales with a little bit of a bristling fur, of course, appearing. Now, those heads, like I said, are baboon-esque, making this animal already pretty terrifying alone. But its arms, it has a little bit of biceps, but after that, its arms are going to be double tentacle arms. And of course, so it has a tail. And one of the important things here to know is, yes, it has two heads. And both those heads, they don't get along. Both of them actually compete against each other all the time in order to maintain total control of the body. So while they may have similar goals, each one does have their own. Now, it does have a real-world origin, which is shocking, I know. It is believed an ancient scholar did mistake the word demomerge, which is meaning an artist or crafter, maintaining the universe, with Demogorgon, and then the word did appear. And it was used in religious stories for a couple of hundred years across history. And then, of course, well, Lord behold, pun intended, it was public domain name, so D&D snatched that bad boy up and was able to make a cool monster out of it. Or demon. Now, fun little fact, though, because this is the Lorepod, during the 3rd edition books, it actually had hyena heads instead of baboon heads, and the artwork is pretty terrifying of that, to say the least. Baboon heads work a lot better than hyena heads. Neat idea, though, for temporary. Now, because of how powerful it is, and believe it or not, it actually is very, very powerful. I say that because he is actually pretty great with arcane abilities and has pretty good channeling, and he's actually very intelligent as well, even with those two heads facing each other. So he's a great magic user, and he does use others to get his goals accomplished. That being said there, though, too, it is thought that he would have taken control of his realm if not for the heads going toe-to-toe with each other from time to time. His realm does consist of the 88th layer of the Abyss, which is full of gaping briny water with sharp obelisks just pointing out of the ground and above the ceiling. Now, his palace, the Abyssum, is a fortress of 2 towers with a skull on top of each tower. Basically saying, this is hell. Now, he does have goals, as a demon usually does, and his goal is to empty the multiverse of all other creatures. This includes his cultists. Of course, why not have that goal? He just wants to be left alone, which is funny because he won't ever be alone because he has 2 heads. Now, I mentioned cultists. That is true. He does have a cult following. Now, what happens, though, is that there was a cult following, but it did split into 2. One for each head. And there is of course, icon for these cults. And it is believed that you can unwillingly become a member of this cult by just looking at that icon. Now, the icon itself has been known to look like a tail wrapped around a skull and sword. This has been a little bit of some D&D Demogorgon knowledge, and if y'all did like this episode of the Lorepod podcast, I've been your host, Dakota Morgan, coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona. And of course, as always, subscribe to wherever you listen to the podcast, my social media, my X, Instagram, and Twitch, down below in the description box, everybody. And again, be sure to subscribe to wherever you're listening to us on. Helps us out greatly, okay? And if you're on YouTube, be sure to leave a like as well. Thanks, everybody. And of course, as always, stay creative.